For masking moments, sometimes I use masking fluid medium, which is has latex in, so it's important not to use your lovely watercolour brushes. The best thing to use is the palette knife, or you can buy masking fluid brushes. So that's one medium I use, and it gives lovely crisp edges, as I've done in this wave here. There's crisp edges. But also I use a Brushable wax resist, which is this soft, lovely soft, as you can see here, if I use it for across the shoreline, it's given softer effects. The wax resist will resist the paint, and it's very good, and I use it with a palette knife or with the masking fluid brush. The other thing I use is oil pastels. Are very good for resisting paint, perhaps not quite so pronounced as the wax resist sticks, which are also very good, or even a cake candle. They all resist paint, as you can see in this tree here, and you get lovely effects from the bark and drawing up into the canopy of the tree. It will resist the paint in the canopy area too, for the branches and the twigs that you're rendering, and also the lovely colours of the oil pastels give lovely highlight effects on this palm leaf. And I've already done this example. I've just drawn in a rough guide of a wave with this is an Inktense colour pencil, but you could use pastel pencil or watercolour pencil, I guess. So I'm going to use my number 6 brush for this little demo, and I'm going to first of all put some trigger spray, clean water. Everything is clean, has to be clean water for watercolour. Propping it up on a shell, and I've got quinacridone gold here mixed to a semi-skim stroke full cream mix, and then ultramarine green shade. And so I'm going to start by, I've already put my masking fluid in, which has dried for the purpose of timing. That's why I did it this way round. And I've put my Brushable wax resist in the foreground for those lovely frothy, watery, bubbly puddles you get when the waves come in. So I'll start by doing the foreground here, in the foreground, coming right from the base of the wave into the shoreline. And as you can see, the Brushable wax resist is resisting the paint, which is just what I wanted, and that represents nice watery effects there. And then I'm going to pop some behind the crest of the wave, this lovely big juicy wave, and you can see with the trigger spray it's starting to trickle down into the wet areas, because although the waves are white, they're not pure white. And so I'm going to now draw a little bit down, working quite quickly, just here and there. I could use a trigger spray as well, but I'm going to do it this way this time, and again drawing very randomly. I find the quicker I do it, the better it tends to come out. And also we need to keep the paint moving before it dries. And then I'm going to just paint in the background waves now. Obviously the colour will be more vibrant in the foreground. And now I'm going to add some of them are ultramarine green shade into the area behind the crest of the wave, so that it will make the wave pop out. And then a little bit there, and then blend into the background. In the distance would be flatter, they'd appear flatter waves. So simply put in like that, and then at the base of the wave there'd be like shadows there. I'll put a little shadow around there, and then just draw it forward a little bit more into the foreground. So I'll let that dry now. I'll just put just a little bit more behind this. Blend it in. And see how it looks when it's dry, and then we can take the masking fluid off. I've used Brushable wax resist for the foreground, and I'm going to show you what happens when I add masking fluid into wet paint. And this time I've mixed the paints in the palette, quinacridone and Art-Lorraine. Use some trigger spray and quickly just do a little section here to show you the effects of dropping in masking fluid when the paint's wet. It's such fun, all these different things we can experiment with. And so I guess I could put a little bit in this area of paint. Now, because I need to show you what happens when we put wax resist sticks in the foreground. As you can see, it's resisting the paint nicely, and so for the background, a bit more painting. Using this thin 190 grams, £90 paper, watercolour paper, Saunders Waterford, which is fine for little wet in wet experiments like this. But I always use 425 grams, £200 watercolour, not paper, especially for watercolour glazes. Otherwise the technique doesn't really work. Usually use a smaller palette knife than this. not familiar with that big one. That's better. Right, I'll let that dry. Let's see what sort of effects we get. So back to the masking fluid applied on dry paper. I rub it off now because it's thoroughly dry, the masking fluid, and then you can see the effects it's created. Using a rubber makes it a little bit easier to take it off. There, and you can see it's got it's given very crisp results rather than the softer brushable wax resist. And so now, if we're doing a painting, we could doing a masterpiece. I would go in with my Inktense blocks and just create a bit more texture. Something like that, a few spatters, and there. So here we have the effect of the wax resist stick in the foreground here of the wave, giving nice textured effects. And now let's see what happens when we move the masking fluid and the dry paint. If you remember, we put this in, dropped it in to wet paint this masking fluid, and there we have different effects again compared with the crisp effects on this little demo here. We get softer effects, and so that's masking fluid into wet paint, and that was the masking fluid applied onto paper before adding the paint. Other masking methods I've used are Frisker's film and white gouache paint, also using a colour shaper and a ruling pen for various masking applications. Have fun experimenting with masking media, but remember to use a masking fluid brush, not your decent brushes. Roll it in soap beforehand to keep its shape longer. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video to enable more videos and 10-minute techniques to come. Thank you for watching. See you next time.